Tapealert, hottest in the city. It's your boy EJ. We got my man Ravishin and Milani Bands in the building. The brother here is a very creative individual. Is very interesting in story too. Stylish, creator, designer.
Marketing, I do it all, man. I'm the immortal. I do it all.
The immortal, exactly.
I'm the immortal, man. I do it all, baby.
Swiss, Rav Swiss.
Yeah.
You mind if I call you Rav Swiss?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Introduce yourself to the world, man. Tell the people.
Simply Ravishin. It's the immortal. My name is Ravishin Swiss. I'm an artist. I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn. I do it all. I'm a stylist. I do creative directing, marketing. I make clothes. I do it all, man. It just, if it's made with love, it's made with Ravishin. I'm gonna do it for you.
Interesting. Tell us what growing up in Brownsville, what was like, and because you took a different direction. You went more towards the stylist rather than styling,
Right.
and designing rather than just the normal filming. Disregard music. Tell us about that.
Actually, I didn't. I came from music.
Oh, you came from music.
Yeah, I was a rapper
so bring
first.
it back then. Not disregard. My fault.
Yeah, I was a rapper first.
Okay.
Years ago, I was a rapper. Well, I was a rapper first, so I did music, and I had like a pretty decent run with music.
Okay.
Pretty decent run, but I always stood out for dressing wherever I went.
That's what it was.
So
Okay.
no matter where, people cared more about the way I look more than my music. So it was like, yo, like, that's fire, I need. And then be like, I'm in a locked dressing room with a bunch of celebrities, and they was like, where you get that from? Even before I started making clothes, I used to buy pieces. It was always rare. So they always want to know, where did I get it from? Or how can I look like you? And I'm like, yeah, well, yo, when we gonna chop this record up or whatever. And they're like, yeah. But yo, they'll hit me the next day before the record. Yo, where you get that piece from? And it started clicking more. But I've been through like wild hardships I got a crazy story that got me into fashion.
Okay. Now, so tell us, I stand corrected on that too. Not labeling you as a musician. That's my fault. It's there. I just kind of got lost.
Yeah, I don't do music no more though, man.
Okay. So you don't, all right. I got you. I understand.
Yeah.
Tell us about, you said, how did you what was your first experience getting next to celebrities?
As a kid, like
Your household or?
Yeah, like the streets, like just the
Okay.
streets, like being from the Ville and like being with them guys, going to clubs early ages and being with them guys that's into certain things. And it's like certain rappers needed protection,
Right.
So being around the guys, I was around rappers that needed protection and knowing being in the streets as a kid and coming outside and getting in certain things. We meet a lot of people, moving around.
Okay. And the first, when you said the piece, the first, what is it, the article of clothing that you designed, who did you make it for, and how were you able to get it in the hands of the people?
The first real person that I ever really cause I done gave pieces around. The first person I ever really got a piece to was Lil Uzi. Like
Lil Uzi.
That's known, like super notoriety was Lil Uzi. And I have a friend that worked, and my brother Jigga was working with Atlantic Records at the time. And he brought me to Atlantic Records. And when he brought me to Atlantic Records, it was just like, all right, I was still doing music at the time. Like I'm gonna move you around the building and see different people. And I had a fire outfit on, but I had a beep on my hat. My logo is a beep, and normally I always have a beep. I'm gonna bring it back out.
Okay.
So I had a beep on, a page on my hat. And everybody in Atlantic Records went dumb because they didn't see a page since 1993 or 4 or whatever. And it's like, is that a pager? Is that real? Does it work? And I'm like, it works. And it was like, I was in a meeting, and while they was doing a meeting, they was working on a new artist with Generation Now. Now we know who the artist is, but he was just with Generation Now, and they was coming up with like his press run, his ideas, and I called this shit whack. I called the idea whack, and it was like, well, you think you could do better? And I'm like, yeah, I could do better. I'm a confident dude. I ain't never worked. I never was a stylist, never worked with a company a day in my life. And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, send us some ideas, send us some mood board. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I got that. And I'm like leaving there like, the hell is that? Like, I ain't know, but it was like make it or break it.
Right.
And my brother had to paint a jacket. And I went and got a jacket, and I gave him the ideas. And then my brother was already like super dope with like knowing people or whatever. And the key was we had to paint the jacket live in front of Atlantic Records.
Wow.
So I didn't get home. I couldn't finesse it. I couldn't get somebody to do it for me. It was none of that. It was like every magazine was in the middle of the stage at Atlantic Records where the rappers performed. and I had to paint a jacket. They brought David Reeves in with a skateboard, and we had a jacket and sneakers to do it live in front of the whole Atlantic Records.
So you was able to skip the line, but then when it was time, it's like, now where you going? We need you to do it right now,
Right now, like maybe like
on the
3 days
spot.
later, and they made a whole media thing of it. We delivered. Me and my brother delivered, and it was like, this is amazing. And then like the idea, they started feeding me ideas, P&B Rock afterwards, and I just started like spiraling, getting all these top celebrities, and everything I did was like top tier. So they like really appreciated it. And I got like a very creative mind.
Interesting, interesting. And I was scoping out your page, man. I see what stood out to me. How the hell did you recreate the Simpsons, that living room design, and you was able to, you know what I'm
So
saying?
that was Kif, right? I was a partner in that. That was Kif, and Kif did something with the Simpsons, and like I was working with like a production team to help put the things together for Kif, but everybody would just go in there and like taking pictures, and I'm like, nah. I made sneakers that were the same color as Homer, like Jordan 2s, and I was like, all right, the pants, that was blankets. The pants, that was a He-Man blanket that I turned into pants. Like, so it was warm. It kept me warm in the winter like a goddamn coat. And I went and I'm like, yo, let me just make content. And this is like before TikTok even was a thing. I added the sound and the sound like The Simpsons. And I was able to time myself like Bart, run to the couch, sit down, fold my arms, how he moved very stiff. So I always watch things to make it very fun. Right.
Were so what led you to coming up with such an amazing creative idea with that Gucci trench coat?
The Gucci trench coat was, all right, that was like, I got the inspiration really from Cruella de Vil.
From
Right.
101 Dalmatians.
That's cow print, but I didn't like the Dalmatian print. They had Dalmatian print Gucci, and I got the cow print. And when I got the cow print, I was just a bigger pattern. But people would see it, and they either think it's cow, they also think Dalmatian too, because it's very close.
Right.
And I got the idea because I'm big on like mobs, the mob movies, big trench coats, cigars, you know. So I'm like, this could work. You know, I live like a very like a luxury lifestyle. I'm like, all right, let me put this in cow because it makes it very luxury, but it makes it weird and trendy that it was black and white.
Wow, I did not know that was cow print. That's
It's
crazy.
cow print.
Wow.
But it looks like I got Dalmatian too, but the Dalmatian spots was too small. You wouldn't have been able to see the Gucci G's because of the monogram. So I used cow because it was big G's.
Okay.
And that coat, people went nuts.
Okay. That's cool, man. Thank you for clearing that up. I was wondering, like, yo, how was he able to do that? Um, were you did you personally hand deliver your custom Timberland boots to Rihanna? How did that happen?
That was through my brother though at the time.
Okay.
And my brother was working with security guard, and I think the security guard was Rihanna's, it was his basketball coach or mentor, Jigga don't kill me or whatever, because you can't play no more. But that was his basketball coach, and he used to always tell me about this basketball coach. I used to be telling him like, "Yo, give it up, bro. Your hoop dreams is over, bro. We old men now, like we older, like." But the security guard knew Rihanna. That was Rihanna's security guard, and he was like, "Yo, we could get something to her. She'll love it." And I'm like, "All right," but it wasn't believable till we fucking got a call from Elle magazine.
Okay.
And it was like that was like life changing, like where like to see like certain pieces that I made, like or my brother made and work around. It was like to know Rihanna was like notice who you is, Lil Uzi, the Tiana Taylors, and like people would be like, cause it start out when you a designer or artist, people would try to discourage you. Like,
Right.
I seen that little jacket you did. I seen you doing your little fashion thing. Yeah,
The term little.
little.
Yeah, yeah,
I see
yeah.
you doing the little. I see you move, and it's like, no, I'm in Elle magazine. No, I'm in People's magazine. No, I'm in front of Atlantic Records. I'm on stage on Rolling Louds. Like certainly, you can't take that away from me. It ain't little. It's big.
Your resume is growing. It's growing. And it's interesting you said that because I was going to ask you, how many no's did you get before you actually got a yes?
I still get a million no's. The thing is, you never gonna stop getting no's ever. Like I want people to know that, and you ain't never gonna get in the room because when you a millionaire, you're trying to get in the room with billionaires. So you're gonna keep getting no's. When you're 1,000 in, you're gonna get no's no matter what, whether who you is. If you Elon Musk, you still gonna get no's because now you're trying to get programs approved from Congress, and you're gonna get no's there. Then you gotta facilitate or work through, So no is just a process of a yes. No is just pre-failure for yes. It's temporary. So you just gotta keep going on what you're doing. Like don't get discouraged.
Right, right. What were any of the no's like? Nah, I'm good. You know
Yo,
what? Get
yo,
back to me.
I got so many people to spin the block.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't even spin the block, bro. They reverse through the goddamn project to get back.
Oh,
They,
so
they
they
can't. They reverse. I didn't have people.
twice like they looking for
Yo,
parking.
they looking for parking on a lit club night. A lit club night. They like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna just jump out and get valet. Because I done had people that I hit up to ask the style. Yo, they respond to me 3 years later. Like, oh, remember we were supposed to work together? You left me on scene. This says 2019, 2018. Or it was like, the females or Insta models. They, hey, let's do a photo shoot. Then they hit me back. Hey, babe. I done died. I done been all type of things. You remember me now? The rappers, yo, bro, they'll send me photos. I hate this. A stack of money, they jewelry. I'm with this person, I'm with that person. Yo, bro, this is my price line. This is my stat sheet. I don't care nothing else to talk about. This is what you're gonna pay me. If you can't do nothing for me, I can't do for myself.
That's a good way of looking at it too, man. That's a really.
I got a whole stat line I could send you. So I don't need exposure.
Right,
I don't need exposure.
I hear you. Are there any individuals in the industry that you are directly working with that has a strong hand in fashion?
I work with a lot of people like that. Got a strong hand. But what's funny? I always tell people like the industry is backed by the streets.
All the time.
Right? The streets. So like working with these big brands, right? I always say that, I didn't want to be the person, right? To like take our culture and repackage it for it to be sold back to us for triple. Cause that's what happened. I try not to be that. So like all these companies that like me and pay me and I love it. I appreciate every blessing I get. But I'm a black male from Brownsville, Brooklyn. I will never forget that. And I never not stand on that. So it's like, I work with like major people that's like have super hands in fashion. I got to meet Donatella Versace in the last month.
That's big.
Yeah, I got to meet
That's not
Donatella.
even big. That's mega.
Yeah, I got to meet her in person, and very nice lady, and like meeting people like that, or like getting to be on a cordial basis with like Claire Summers from Fashion Bomb Daily. She's like amazing. I watched her from the start. Black woman owns one of the dopest fashion brands now. It's like the shade room of fashion, but she's like super big. I watched her start from Harlem. Don't follow us now. She's on every carpet, the Met. I meet like a lot of I met Julia Lang. I get the whole conversation with Julia Lang. We see how big and dope Julia Lang is. I meet Alexander Wang. So it's like meeting these top fashion houses, and I'm coming from the hood. I'm from the cloth of a rapper. I'm from Osborne, between Hegerman and Lot. It's just like a different world. And these people like me because I didn't go to FIT. I went to the FED. So I didn't come through the same same schooling and going to FIT or one of these fashion schools, and I didn't do that. I learned how to sew on a messed up broken sewing machine, and thread, and I learned how to paint using paint on Chinese food tops. And like I didn't have paint dividers or whatever. I used whatever brushes my brother was giving me, and I was determined just to learn this craft and like do something different with my life. Cause you got everybody sees you got a rapper, you got ball players. That's what they think of it from my hood. Why I can't be more chefs? Somebody that's in agriculture. Like we get so one dimensional. So I'm like, I'm gonna be cool as a rapper and be a fashion designer, and I'm not gonna be the clothing dude. Like, hey, come make my clothes. You can't do it. I'm a creator. I make stickers. I make logos.
It's not just clothing.
I make set designs. I do creative designing. It's any medium that I do. I collab with food companies, people that do nails, people that do hair. It's nothing that I can't do. You're not gonna ever put me in a box. And I'm gonna let you know that it's gonna be from Ravishin with love. You're gonna see my aesthetic. So you're gonna look at it. You can look at a camera that I designed, and it's gonna be colorful. That's gonna have fur on the top. That's gonna have Gucci drip coming off of it. Might have a runway. It's gonna light up. Send a picture right to your baby mom's house.
Right.
You know, but like it gotta resonate with you, and don't let nobody like. I always try to make my own narrative. Like no matter, you know, you gotta fit into a system. I'm always gonna have my own narrative. You're gonna know it's coming from me.
That's good. That's great. That's great, Jules. You you know, I was reading. I'm gonna get back to one more fashion question, but you're a coma survivor.
Yes.
You, tell us how did that come about?
All right, let me sum this up because it's a long story. Long story short, I'm never into like men beating on women. That's
Okay.
whack. I went to a nightclub, Kenzo. I literally was just over there the last week, right? And I went to a nightclub. I worked the Dipset art show. Dipset did an art show, right? I was involved with one of the people in the Dipset art show. I leave the Dipset art show. I go to a nightclub. Before we get in the club, dude get drunk. Typical hood dude, found his way, I don't know, around a group of hipsters because he had no business over there. Think he's better than, tougher than everybody else.
Right.
Comes outside, he slaps the life out of a female. He doesn't know her from a hole in the wall.
And you didn't know the female.
I didn't know the female either. Well, I thought it was a man at first. When I realized it wasn't his man, I beat the living crap out of him, right?
Okay.
I broke my hand. I didn't even know I broke my hand because we beat him under a car. I hit a car tire at a rim and broke my hand. I didn't know until the next morning, halfway. Long story short, my hand was broke. I had to have outpatient surgery on my hand. I'm crippled, if you don't know. This hand doesn't close now, right? So, and I still sew, I still paint with 1.5 hands. You can do anything, kids. But, like what I was saying was, I beat the dude, I had to get surgery. My hand started healing, but it started healing the way the soft calf was wrapped. So I was healing very fast, but backwards. Instead of my hand healing like this, it started healing like that. Like the way the cast was, whatever way I was holding it. So they had to re-break my hand and put a metal pins and a rod in it. When they gave me the surgery and the anesthesia, they gave me the wrong amount of anesthesia and it blew my heart out. I had an instant heart attack.
Wow.
I flatlined twice.
Wow.
And then I got fluid in my lungs. Like whatever they did wrong, the anesthesia blew my heart out and it gave me fluid. So like I flatlined twice, they brought me back and I was in a coma like for a while. And like while I was in a coma, they was hoping like the water drained from my lungs. So like the hospital was trying to pull a plug every week on me, you know, like with my mom's, you know, my mom's a fighting woman, a praying woman. It's like, listen, I'm not signing nothing because when you're in a hospital, you sign a do not resuscitate.
Right.
Right? But that's an option you have. A lot of people be signing that because the hospital tells them like they're gonna be in a lot of pain, they're gonna be suffering. But it's like, yo, we on God timing. This ain't our timing. The hospital can't determine when it's time to clock out.
Right.
And I made it back through that. I had to do rehab. I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn how to talk again from scratch.
Well, thank God, you know what I mean, survivor.
Yeah, man.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah, crazy story. I had to learn how to walk again, and mind you, I'm still working with Atlantic at the time.
All from a hand injury.
Look, while I'm going through this thing, I was in my house. Oh, hey, get better. We want you to get better. I ain't gonna get fired. I still was delivering from my house. Still painting shoes or whatever they needed me to do from my house, and I couldn't walk. Because I was like, I'm not gonna lose my spot I work for. The person who I was working for, Atlantic, I would call him every day and ask him whatever jobs he got available. Because no matter what I was going through, the people ain't care, and I wasn't going to lose my spot that I worked damn hard for. I'm not going back to the streets, ever.
Yeah, we was talking about that, man. Just going back. Like, what am I going back here for? But,
Never, man. And it's bigger than me now, man. People see me all the time that was in the streets with me, and they be like, yo, you know what? I was thinking about opening this juice bar. Or I was thinking about opening this clothing store.
Right.
My girl got a nail shop. You think you could help me design her nail logo? I was thinking about doing an order. Yo, you never know how many people you inspire.
Yeah.
And you could change somebody else, like, just because they see how dedicated you is to changing your life, you know? So it's bigger than me. It's way bigger than me, man. And that makes me proud. Like, I could, like, work with people like NBA Youngboy and do these whole tours, and like the kids in my neighborhood, like, yo, you know Young Boy? And I'm like, yo, yeah, I know Young Boy. Yo, you could think you could bring me a bandana, something simple as a bandana from him. That sign, yo, show me your report card, I'll send you one.
Yeah, yeah.
They do it.
Do you wow, that's that's a touching story, man. Um do you, other than what's next, fashion, do you see it long term? This is it for you? You
With
know,
fashion.
as far as as far as um your creative ideas and getting it out there. For example, you see how Virgil Abloh was able to take Louis Vuitton.
That's where I model myself. Like, that's great you brought up Virgil, because Virgil is like a real big inspiration for me. And I don't know if you know who Takashi Murakami is. You seen
The
his
name
logo, the
across me.
flower, the colorful flower. You see J Balvin, it's like a colorful flower with a face on it or
Yeah.
whatever. He worked with Virgil too. I want to be like I'm my own brand, but I like how anywhere you identify off white, you think about Virgil, and Virgil is you could see it anywhere. Like, he became a creator. Like, he worked for Off White, then he worked with Louis Vuitton. He elevated Nike. He became the face of fashion. Before he died, Off White was the biggest brand, fashion brand in the world. It was bigger than Gucci. It was beating out Balenciaga. He was a black man for Chicago. I model myself after that. I just don't want to make clothes where Off White got spoons, or like Supreme. They got candy, newspaper. I want to be able to do anything through my name. My name is my name. It's Ravishin. And I want you to be able to know it, see it, and it don't matter what I do. Like, I eventually want to get into acting. You know, I'm big on like personality, acting. Get into acting and like more so creative directing. I like to work with a camera crew. And you know, like, I'm not a photographer, but like start like more directing films, or because I just want to be able to have a narrative for my people that we could be in any room possible. I bring people, not lying, I bring people to People Magazine, Essence, Atlantic Records, people that had never seen the light of day. I brought my bro with me as a photographer. Yo, send them here, come with me. No contract. I'm not one of the people, I don't facilitate to hold people down. Like, you gotta be working with me, you gotta be in contract. Yo, you got a portfolio? All right, here, this is the person you give it to that work here. Eat. Cause that ain't gonna stop me from eating fish. I'm gonna give you a rod. I got a lake set up. If there's biting bait over there, take it. You know? Yo, you a rapper. Come to this record company with me. Come to this interview with me. I'm working with this magazine. Oh, you a writer? Yo, listen, this is my friend. She writes to this. I send people content for magazines, for they write it for major magazines that have nothing to do with me. The events that I'm at, I send them the photos. I send them to get a press release because I know who runs the event. I send it to you. Get your article published.
Yeah. Oh, man, he knows he's ready. You got your future set, man, and I see it, man.
Yeah,
You
definitely, man.
were you what have you been faced with any do's and don'ts? Like, tell the youth that's watching who would love to be in your position. What do's and don'ts you were able to distinguish in the business,
All right.
and how you overcame them.
First thing I tell them is, it's no rules, and then it's a bunch of rules with fashion and business, right? So the thing is, it's etiquette. Etiquette takes you a long way. The way you speak, the way you maneuver, right? Relationships. My biggest line, I got this from my friend Jordan Chalmers, right? That's the one who got me with Atlantic. Relationships over revenue. People count revenue. I gotta get to the bag. Yo, I'm running it up, right? You are the bag. Energy is the biggest currency ever. I'll take energy, knowledge, and a relationship over money any day. Money is paper. It comes and goes. And if you chasing revenue, you'll burn a relationship later that you needed. And that was the real revenue. So that bag is really short term. So I tell it like this. If you got a bunch of money and you got a hole in your pocket, how much money could you hold in your pocket? None. It's gonna keep falling out.
Keep falling out. You got a hole.
So you could keep making thousands of dollars and shoving them in your pocket, and it's gonna keep falling out every time. It's like a bag. It's a bag with a hole in it. It never add up. You know?
That's deep.
Tapealert on the beat.